You've probably said it yourself, right? Just Google it. Or maybe I'll Uber there. It's pretty rare and really powerful when a company's name just becomes a verb. Well, today we're diving into the incredible story of an Indian startup that did exactly that, against some pretty crazy odds. This is the story of Dunzo.
So how does that even happen? What's the secret sauce that takes a brand name and weaves it into our everyday language? The answer, in this case, doesn't start with some grand business plan or a ton of funding. It starts with a simple, super relatable problem in a really busy city.
So picture this. It's 2015, and we're in Bangalore with a guy named Kabir Biswas, and he's just fed up with something we can all understand. Simple, everyday errands were taking up way too much time. Picking up laundry, buying one specific thing from a store, getting a package across town, all these little tasks were becoming huge headaches.
And the way he started solving this is what's so fascinating. There was no fancy app, not a single line of code written. He just started helping people, one by one, through his personal WhatsApp. A friend needed something, he'd make it happen.
Yep, you heard that right. In an age where there's an app for literally everything, the first version of this service was just a chat. It was as low-tech and as personal as you can possibly get.
And get this, no funding either. There was no venture capital, no big-shot investors. This wasn't some calculated business move from day one. It was just a personal hustle born from a real, genuine need.
And this was the core idea. It wasn't about delivering just food or just groceries. The promise was incredibly simple. If you have a task, any task at all, it can be done. And that flexibility, that would turn out to be its superpower.
And this is where the magic really happens. Before Dunzo was even officially a company, people were already using its name as a verb. Strangers would get Kabir's number, text him, and ask if he could Dunzo something for them. The brand was literally being built by its customers, organically. It's amazing.
Well, as you can probably guess, this word-of-mouth thing just exploded. A one-man operation on WhatsApp wasn't going to cut it for much longer. It was time to actually build an engine to power this whole growing movement.
So when they did formalize, this was the key idea. Dunzo wasn't positioning itself as just another delivery app. Nope, it was your personal assistant, your city concierge, ready to handle pretty much anything you could throw at it.
And when they said anything, they really, really meant it. Left your keys at the office? Dunzoed. Need to send back that Amazon package but you're stuck at home? Dunzoed. I mean, from critical stuff like getting your laptop fixed, to thoughtful things like delivering a last-minute birthday present, the service became a genuine lifeline for people in urban India.
And by 2017, this totally unique model started turning some serious heads. We're talking big heads. Google stepped in. And this wasn't just, another funding round. This was Google's first ever direct investment in an Indian startup. It was this massive, global thumbs up that said, yeah, this task-based model is something special.
So with Google's backing and a solid app in place, Dunzo's growth just went into overdrive. But its success wasn't just about the number of orders or the revenue. It was really measured by its cultural impact. The phrase was suddenly everywhere. It just slipped right into daily conversations. And the brand's fun, kind of quirky personality on social media really helped. It made Dunzo feel less like some big corporation and more like that helpful, super reliable friend you could count on 24/7.
But you know how these stories go. Just as Dunzo was hitting its cultural peak, the whole game started to change. A new, aggressive, and incredibly well-funded type of competitor showed up, and that sparked the quick commerce war.
Okay, to really get what happened next, you have to understand this strategic divide. Dunzo's whole thing was flexibility, doing anything for you. These new players, like Zepto and Blinkit, were obsessed with one thing: speed. They built their own mini warehouses or dark stores, stocked them with groceries, and promised delivery in minutes. Their game wasn't flexibility, it was pure, crazy speed. Now that new speed-based model required a ton of cash, and these competitors, backed by huge corporations, were burning through money at a shocking rate. Dunzo tried to keep up, launching its own quick delivery service, but the financial pressure was just immense. It led to layoffs and a really tough period of restructuring.
And yet, here's the most fascinating part of this whole story. Even as the company was facing these intense existential challenges, what were people out on the street still saying when they needed something done? They were still saying, "Can you Dunzo this?" The cultural brand, the verb, was actually stronger than the balance sheet.
So this brings us to the legacy of Dunzo. After a pretty brutal fight for survival, the company is now rebuilding, but this time it's smarter and a lot more focused.
This new strategy is much more disciplined. Instead of trying to win the cash-burning quick commerce race, Dunzo is leveraging its core strengths. They're focusing on that tricky hyperlocal logistics piece, partnering with other businesses, and honing in on those essential, task-based services that started it all.
So let's circle all the way back to our original question. Why did Dunzo become a verb? Well, it seems to be this magic combination. It solved a real nagging pain point. Its promise to deliver anything was unique. It felt human and reliable. It had a fun personality, and it just became an essential part of its users' daily lives.
And that's the ultimate takeaway here. More than just an app, more than a delivery service, Dunzo actually created a new behavior. It fundamentally changed how people in a city thought about getting things done.
Which leaves us with this final thought. In the startup world, where we're always talking about valuations and funding rounds, the story of Dunzo poses a really interesting question. What defines true, lasting success? Is it purely about the financials? Or is it about becoming so essential, so loved, that your name becomes a part of the culture itself?